Hello and welcome to the Daily Space for today, Thursday, May 21st, 2020. I'm your host, Dr. Pamela Gay, and I am here to put science in your brain. Today's news starts with one of those stories that makes it clear the kids are okay. Last summer, undergraduate Rebecca Minsley traveled to the University of Hawaii's Institute for Astrophysics to take part in a summer research experience for undergrads program. Commonly just called an REU, these internships are a rite of passage for the majority of future researchers. I was an REU student back in the day at Kit Peaks NRAO, and I have had my own summer students on related programs when I was at Harvard many years ago. Now, normally, students do their best on a 10-week project, and the expectation is that some small science will be completed that might lead to a publication or a software release. Well, for Rebecca Minsley, the science she worked on was less of an incremental improvement in understanding and more of a revolution in understanding. Her work under mentor Dr. Andrea Pettick looked at myriad images of merging galaxies and sought to understand how supermassive black holes grow by looking at the gas dynamics in these systems. According to the press release, Minsley studied the shapes of 630 galaxies using images from the Pan-STARRS survey. She classified the galaxies into mergers, early mergers, and non-mergers, and then compared the shapes to the light output of the same galaxies at longer mid-infrared wavelengths, where she could study the properties of the interstellar medium. The result? Well, they found that galaxy mergers shock heat gas in galaxies. And this heating of the gas prevents the formation of stars, allowing the gas to flow into the supermassive black holes in the hearts of these galaxies, triggering the black hole to grow in step with the galaxy's growth as the merger takes place. This is the first step in developing a clean solution that astronomers have been looking for. But it is the first step, and it required finding someone with 10 weeks to analyze 630 images. And they needed someone who was careful and smart and a whole lot cheaper than a PhD researcher. This student, she fit the bill. And I can't wait to see what she does in the future. Our next two stories may trigger a sense of déjà vu. We're at this weird place in astronomy where lots of teams using lots of telescopes are discovering the same things in small variations, looking at different but similar objects. And due to the sometimes amusing timing of press releases, we're seeing all these results getting premiered with equal fanfare from each institution, all at close to the same time. It's the scientific equivalent of two networks premiering almost identical shows in their fall lineup. Only with science, it's more reinforcing the facts rather than dividing the audience. In our first story of Science on Repeat, a week after talking about a survey of galaxies formed, a survey about galaxies forming in the early universe, we are getting a new press release announcing that ALMA has discovered one particularly massive galaxy in the early universe. DLA 0G17G is the most distant galaxy found rotating of this size. Its light started the journey to our telescopes 1.5 billion years after the universe formed. And to get a massive galaxy fully formed that early in the universe, well, that would require this particular system to grow through the accumulation of massive amounts of cold gas that collapsed en masse into this particular system. In astronomy, we sometimes talk about how galaxies form either through a bottom-up or a top-down approach, where either a myriad of small galaxies come together through mergers to form a giant galaxy. This is what we talked about last week. Or a singular mass of gas can collapse into a giant galaxy in one turbulent event. This week's big, rotating, early forming galaxy is of the singular collapse variety, showing that sometimes there are lots of ways to get to the same outcome. And it's not an either or, but instead it is an and when it comes to all the ways that galaxies can form. Yes, they can form through mergers, and they can form through the collapse of massive clouds of cold gas. In our final story of the day, we have an echo of Tuesday's story of planet formation, seen with Keck. Tuesday was seen with Keck. Today we have news about how the Very Large Telescope looked at the variable star AB Aurigae, a young variable. And this star is just 520 light years away. And when it was observed in the infrared, a spiral in the disk of gas and dust in this system, well, it indicates the presence of a forming planet at a Neptune-like distance from the star. This multiple instruments finding multiple ways to find planets at different stages in their formation is going to eventually allow us to build a complete understanding of planet formation. Eventually. These are the early days, the days when each new world we find, like this one, AB Aurigae, gets a shiny new press release to announce its imaging. It's only after this becomes a completely normal thing, when we don't consider it a big deal to image a forming planet. At that stage, we'll begin to finally have enough data to really understand what's going on. Until then, as I've said before, anyone who tries to tell you we understand planet formation is lying. We're not there yet. But thanks to these images coming from multiple telescopes, we're getting to that stage. So it's an exciting day of lots of, echoing news, reinforcing that we really do have the ability to understand this universe that we live in. And that's kind of a good way for things to be. And that rounds out our news for today. This has been The Daily Space. I am Dr. Pamela Gay, and I wrote today's episode, which will be have its media engineered by Ali Pelfrey, the web content produced by Beth Johnson, and we are supported through a myriad of volunteers. And your generous contributions allow us to pay our staff a living wage. We are a product of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. We're here thanks to you. And the more of you who are out there supporting us, the lighter the load it will be for all of us. So please help us get the word out about what we're doing here. Share a podcast link with anyone you know who likes podcasts. Share the YouTube link for anyone you know who likes YouTube. And if you have friends on Twitch, don't go into other Twitch streamers' channels and without permission promote us. But give us a shout out to your friends who are on Twitch if you can, where it's appropriate. And anytime you can encourage a raid, we always like a good raid. So please help us grow our channel. I really want to be able to pay Annie, Allie, and Beth medical benefits. Like, it's a goal, but I can only do that with your help. So let's grow the audience, grow the base supporting us, and hopefully be able to pay benefits for our part-time staff. Thank you. Okay, I'm now going to take your questions. All right. I'm going to keep things slightly short today because I know I need to go to another meeting. So many meetings today. So many meetings. Oh. 100 megabits per second. It could be. I don't know if that's good or bad, Larry. I really don't know if that's good or bad. I've not had enough coffee. I really haven't. I'm sure it shows on my face that I haven't had enough coffee. Do we have any questions in here? Scrolling. Larry asks, is the central star obscured in the planet formation image? I believe it is. There's a little tiny black dot in the center of the image that I'm assuming is an obscuration mask. I'd have to go read the paper more to figure that out. Oh, everyone's having audio video issues. I'm so sorry. This is part of why we do the podcast, is I know everyone can get the podcast. Yeah. I'm amused that we are now slapping people with trouts in the chat. All right. All right. So Asteroids, you should totally promote Cosmic Quest X on other streams if you have permission. It's kind of an asshole thing to go into somebody else's stream and say, hey, all of you people who watch this stream 8 hours a week, you need to stop doing that and go watch this other stream. I know a lot of streamers get deeply, deeply offended by that. But if instead you ask them on their Discord or on a back channel, hey, is it all right if I promote the science stream? Then they're okay with it. So basically, we're going to follow Will Wheaton's "Don't be a dick" policy. And suddenly I'm cursing a lot on this channel. So basically, just get permission and make sure that the person who runs the channel is okay with it. Full-time streamers, they earn their entire living based on having people sitting there on their channel 8 to 10 hours a day. And I don't want to screw up anyone's income is what I'm saying. So ask permission, find a good way to do it. I highly encourage asking raids because that doesn't harm anybody and hopefully will do good to all of us. That works. Yes. Use the shameless promotion channel on their Discord. That is excellent null denominator. All right. So I'm going to real fast record the audio, go to a meeting, go to another meeting, go to a third meeting, because that's my day. But I need to get the audio to Beth and Allie. So thank you. Yes, you should definitely promote Cosmic Quest whenever you can on Twitter. Totally promote it whenever you want on Twitter. So, all right, get the word out. We'll do this together. All right, once again, this has been your Daily Space. I am your host, and I wrote today's episode, and my name is Dr. Pamela Gay. Today's audio and video will be produced by Ali Pelfrey. The web content will be produced by Beth Johnson, and we are all supported through a myriad of volunteers. We could not do this without the help of so many of you. We are a product of the Planetary Science Institute, and we are here to explore our solar system and beyond. There is currently no one showing up to raid. If anyone has any suggestions of who to raid, I will gladly take your suggestions. If not, I'm just going to say thank you for being here. We're here because you're here. Your generosity, your time, your support as volunteers, you're what allow us to do all the things we do. Horizon Psi. I shall raid Horizon Psi. So thank you for being you. And why can't I find Horizon Psi? There he is. He always shows up as non-applicable, which I don't understand. Anyways, go forth. Have an amazing morning, evening, afternoon, wherever in the world you may be. And remember, if you're going outside, wear a mask. Wash your hands a lot. And if you can, just stay inside. We're here for you. Join us over on Discord. We're going to get through this together. I promise. Bye-bye, everyone.